Pöst Zerö hitting the wall or breaking the wall, however you want to put it. Hello, we've got a smaller panel today, nice and cozy, and already a super chat by Juando for €2. Hitting the wall with consent, right? Right? No, she likes it dirty. And that's how we're going to treat her today.
Whack!
She deserved it. The wall has been misbehaving. But first, as importantly, how have you guys been? How was your weekend?
It's been good. I've been doing absolutely nothing because the last 2 or 3 weekends I've been like out doing stuff, and this weekend I just said, you know what, I'm doing nothing this weekend. Just eating shit food and relaxing.
Video games and shit food. Same here. Yep. Pizza last night, family-sized Domino's, and I went to a Lego fair this morning. But I'll get into that later. Gov, how have you been?
Been pretty good. Been extraordinarily busy the past week or two. But been having a rather chill weekend this weekend at least. Played a little bit of the Pokemons on Friday, I think. I had some time in between to play that and some Rock Band and stuff. So yeah, I've had a little bit of fun this weekend at least. But work has been crazy busy, so.
Oh yeah, I noticed you've been off.
Yeah.
You've been off live for a while.
Yeah, I was off for like a few days, and I realized that. I'm like, I was able to poke in every once in a while, but it's just like I've been focused on a lot. Like, yeah, it's been crazy.
But how is the new job treating you anyway?
It's extremely tiresome and very physical, which the physical part's okay, but it's just taking something to get used to, especially when I'm a data guy. I'm not an outdoor field kind of worker guy, but I wanted to challenge myself and do it. So, I'm getting by at least for now.
I mean, as long as the pay is well and the job is fun.
Yeah, I'm getting by and I'm surviving. And yeah, I get to go to different places every day. So it's a nice change of scenery. That's what I like, because I'm the type that does not like to go to the same place every single day for years. It's like, no, I want to see something different every time.
Oh, nice. I think that's the biggest slog a lot of people have. Either they find comfort in it, or it's making them claustrophobic. It's like, oh, is this what life is going to be? You wake up every day at that time and you go there.
Yeah.
Some people can do it because they're pretty happy at the place they work at, but some people,
yeah, they get used to, or they get to used to and appreciate the routine if they like it enough. Like me, I like where I'm at because at least, I get a company truck, so I'm not paying for the gas for it. Nice. And they say, I don't care what time you start or in the day as long as the work is done. And then I still get, paid for the 8 hours or whatever it is.
That's exactly how my job is.
Yeah, it's really nice. I do like that aspect of it. So I'm just like, you know what, that's good enough. I mean, if I'm driving for 2 hours, I get paid for those 2 hours driving too. So I'm like, fine, that works.
Nice. I used to have a job like that as a sales promoter. There were just certain products that needed to be promoted, and it was a 6-hour shift. Travel was taken care of, so gas, everything, they'd cover that. But also, if I were to sell out before those 6 hours were gone, I'd just get the full 6-hour pay.
Yep.
So even if I'd sell all of the product within 2 hours, 6-hour pay. I love that. That was absolutely fantastic. I had to sell or promote toothpaste once, and even the shop manager was like, "Well, see you in 6 hours. Like, have fun promoting that." I got rid of it within an hour.
Like, there you go.
All right, thanks. I did have fun for an hour.
But I mean, that was just simple. Like, everybody goes like grocery shopping on Saturday here in the Netherlands. Like, that's the big day to start doing like grocery shopping. So I was like, wait a minute. People need toothpaste, need to brush their teeth. That's simple. So they're already here. Where do they normally buy it? In one of like those dollar stores anyway.
Yeah.
So I just hit people up and we're like, hey, did you get your toothpaste yet? Oh, no, why? I usually get that in the drugstore. I'm like, well, we have a sale today, so you don't have to go to the drugstore and drive all the way around town. They're like, hey. Like,
that's a good way to sell it.
Yeah, it's just practical. Like, hey, want to save time? Here I am. Good-looking man with toothpaste. Should have put an R
Handsome
in
Squidward with toothpaste.
Yeah, exactly. God damn it.
Handsome Squidward.
Oh, God.
Yeah. More band humor.
Yeah, I know. But that's what we are for, right? That's what guys are for. I hate it when it's ever so serious. No, we're professional podcasters. No, we're guys in our fucking living room with a mic.
Those professional podcasters are just as bad as we are behind the scenes. I promise.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I do love that Owen Wilson guy, though, who I met very shortly yesterday on Rule Zero. Just some chain-smoking Catholic. Sits there in his studio smoking a whole carton of Marlboros in one stream.
Golly. Yeah.
Hey, enjoy life, man. Enjoy life.
Yeah.
But
speaking of enjoying life.
Exactly. Speaking of enjoying life, the people who are not enjoying their life very much. And Nuke, I would love for you to give an introduction to this one where you and I talked a bit, but I don't even know where we talked about it. But my perspective on the wall, and for people who don't know, the wall is kind of like red pill slang for a woman whose beauty is fading. But not only that, there's also a mental aspect to this where she slowly realizes that with her physical appearance, doesn't mean she's not hot, but with the physical appearance she has right now, even though she's hot, she is getting less and less attention by the day because the men she is pawning for, now is getting attention from younger, hotter, tighter as well. And in that mental process of processing that, you kind of get certain behaviors that we would qualify as hitting the wall. And since Nuke is so popular on Twitter right now, he has been getting a lot of that.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, the wall starts with your personality, right? The girl, we don't even know, like, we don't look at a girl and look and say, wall, she hit the wall, like on the street. We don't think that, right? But I can tell simply by a conversation with a woman if she's hit the wall yet, and the way they just go about life, and it, everyone thinks it's the physical. I'm like, physical is like the last step, is the last manifestation, right? Because one of the saddest parts of being a woman is that even if there's like a 5% or 10% drop in the amount of attention that you get as a woman, you feel it. Like they know that, hey, I'm last 5 years ago or 2 years ago, I got 100 matches per week on Tinder, and this year I'm only getting 60. They know the difference, and they feel, and they're like, okay, whatever, and then they slowly realize like their friends are getting married or their sister got married, and then they slowly realize too that all their female celebrities that they look up to are divorced, alone, so it creates this like anxiety with them, and that anxiety it manifests in a personality and behaviors that when they date men, even the most patient man is just like, oh, God damn, you. And then they get mad at these men, thinking, oh, they're just insecure, and then it's like it feeds that hate feeds on itself, and then eventually it become what we call a femcel, where they just can't get a man because they suck. And a lot of people have the potential to suck, but that's just a different type of sucking, right? Where you're on a date with someone and you're 31 years old, and the guy maybe is your age or older, because you're not settling for someone younger. And then you're just like, you have no charm, you have no female energy, no female charm. And the guy's like, all right, let's see if I can just take her home because she sucks. I don't want to spend any more time with her outside of the bedroom. So yeah, that's how that works.
I don't even know if you want to spend time with her in the bedroom, in all honesty.
Yeah.
How much of a hassle is that? Like, no, you don't treat a lady like that. No, that's not very ladylike. No, that's condescending. That's the word.
Good.
Exactly. Pretty much. Gov, what's your experience in this?
Oh my gosh, I used to think that it was just a physical thing long ago, and I eventually, like Nuke said, I've learned it was the last step, if anything. I'm of the belief that it tends to happen after the personality. It can affect your physical appearance too. All that stress that you're putting on yourself, all that worry, that cannot be helping you. And so you can have some chicks that'll have that kind of stress in their mid-20s, and they'll end up looking, late 30s by the time they hit 30. And it's like, man, that's just not good for you, girl. Like, but my experience with it has, I've noticed, I mean, there's girls in my age now, that are really, still youthful and everything and still fun. I know it's crazy, right? But and then there's people 10 years younger than me that I wouldn't want to have anything to do with, because that personality, that almost post crazy cat lady anger that they have. I wouldn't want to be around it. I don't want to be around that kind of personality at all. No, thank you. Been there before, never again.
I know what you mean. I've met women who are like 25 and their behavior is just abysmal.
Yeah.
Their behavior is just so intolerably unpleasant. Where it's like a couple of years before, like maybe when they were 19 or 20, they were absolutely pleasant, partying all the time, whatever. I know, stereotypical party girl, whatever. But now all of a sudden it's like, no, we don't do that anymore. And your misogynistic opinions are condescending and whatever, even though they used to be able to laugh at it and see the joke about it. Now all of a sudden they've turned into these huge prudes. And I'm not saying that in a sexual manner. I mean that like in a bantering manner, even where everything is offensive. Everything is offensive. And everything is for the sole purpose of bringing women down, where it's like, no, we're just bantering. We're having fun. We're getting to know everybody. And you're bringing the mood down for some odd reason.
Yeah.
Nuke? Yeah, well, like I said, the manifestation, that it's the anxiety, right? Because I recently went out with a girl who was 31 and she's still very, very pretty, right? And half the conversation was about plastic surgery and the plastic surgery she wanted to get done, right? That's fucking sad, right? Like you're very pretty. You're on a date with a guy like me, right? I'm not anything special, but we're still vibing and, you're having fun, but you're still talking about trying to make yourself go under the knife to make yourself more attractive at 31 years old because you want to stay in the game and you still think there's more out there. Obviously, I don't think females think that far ahead, but like it's just, that's why I always say, like, you already got your revenge fantasy, right? But you won't like it. You won't like it. Once you start delving into the world of women, you're going to start realizing that the choices they make and their lifestyles are like almost cries for help, right? And
you bring up a good
there's nothing
point.
you can do.
You bring up a good point, and I really want to mention that quick, where it's like, look, this is not some girl versus boy who ages better type of deal.
Yeah.
But this is just a concept that happens with one of the most interesting things in the world for men, women. So this is not to compare men and women getting older, because I saw a lot of that on Twitter again, where it's like, look,
it's the argument. They always go
where it's
for
like,
that.
oh, when women age, they are much happier and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, SSRIs up the A. But this is not about that. This is not about like, oh, look, men have it better. No. Just it's just a phenomenon that we have noticed amongst women. Not saying anyone is better here, but please, Nuke, go on. By the way, we think you are special, and we here at Pöst Zerö.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, we do support plastic surgery. Just saying.
Yeah.
You do not have to live with a B cup.
Get them young. Get your implants young. Get them when you're 23, 24, because then you grow into them and they look amazing by the time you're 30. That's what I'm saying. Don't wait till you're like 35 to get them, because then like they'll be bolt-ons,
Screw your driver's license. Just get it.
Yeah, exactly. I know I'm half joking, but seriously, if you're gonna get your implants, ladies, get them when you're young, when you still have all that young tissue on you, because when you're older and you want to get them, they're gonna be obvious that it's not gonna be as good. But anyway, what I was saying is
not
that
medical advice.
When you date a girl that's 23, 24, there's just like happiness. They see a flower on the ground and they pick it up like, oh, look at this cute little flower. Everything is sunshine, rainbows, and puppies. And as a man, that's really nice. It's really nice to be with someone that like keeps you in the moment when you're out on a walk, that kind of like distracts you from the grind of life, and your own problems, right? And you just look at this girl and like, she's just happy to be here with me, and she does, she's fully happy. That is gone with a girl that's hit the wall, right? When a girl hits the wall, she is trying to get she doesn't like you. She likes anyone that can get her off the streets, right? So it's hard for a guy who's self-aware and understands this to look at a girl that's 31, 32, 33 and up and think, yeah, she likes me for me. It isn't because she has no other options or she just needs a guy to, like, get her, take, it's hard. You're staring at this girl, and a lot of guys who date older women who, have success with women, we have no choice because there is no genuine desire there. It's more of like you're a placeholder. You will always be a placeholder because those women, their sexual strategy has changed to, I don't want to have your baby. I want to have a baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is a big one, and that is like the most finding that out and figuring that out with a girl you're dating can be absolutely gut wrenching. Where it's like they talk a lot about marriage, babies, and things like that, but when they talk about it too soon, it's kind of like, look, do you want to get married or do you want to marry me? Do you want a baby or do you want my baby? And there is a huge and very distinct difference in that.
Yeah, definitely.
Nuke, what would your advice be for a guy who might be in that situation, how he could figure it out? Hard question.
Man, good question.
Yeah,
it's a tough question. He wants to know if he was the beta bucks. Start trying. Okay, you gotta up the dread and see what happens. You gotta
see how intense the desire is.
Yeah, like a girl that is used to being a girl who puts you in the box of like the beta that saved her, and she sees you getting more jacked. She sees you around other women, maybe like at a party or at a, whatever you have to do for that passive dread. If she fights you tooth and nail to the very fucking end for you not to go to the gym more, not to self-improve, not to make yourself more attractive, then you may be the beta bucks because she is terrified that you'll step outside of that box. A girl who gets with the alpha, who's both, because eventually you're going to be both. If you're going to have kids with this woman, you're going to be both, which is good. This is their ideal, right? If she gets with the alpha, she's be like, yeah, he has, he's around other women. He's super jacked, but he always comes home to me at the end of the day. And, I love him. This is what that's how you know the difference. You have to up the dread and see if how hard she fights you for you being more attractive, right?
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but how hard she fights you to keep you there.
Yeah.
Because if it's just a baby she wants, she can get that anywhere. Let's be honest here. I mean, there are plenty of guys who would throw themselves at that.
She could get one by the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if she really wants one, she
by the end of the day. Hell yeah.
Let's be honest here. Not to get into the biological aspects of everything, how hard it really is to actually get pregnant.
I should say she could get an option by the end of the day, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know definitely what you mean. I mean, that's a whole like can of worms we might not want to open, where it's like accidental pregnancies. It's like,
yeah,
accidental.
Yeah,
not really how that works, but okay. Because let's say you do like gym bag by the door kind of strategy. Gym bag by the door, for people who don't know that, it's used to be an old married red pill thing where guys who were in a dead bedroom situation had to force themselves to initiate because they had already kind of given up. But then the strategy was like, look, if she shoots you down, at least make sure you got something to do. It's like gym bag by the door. Let's say you do implement that and you see nothing of an improvement. Nothing of an improvement where she's not chasing you. She's not asking about you, doesn't put effort into pleasing you, whatever. After a certain amount of time, let's say you are getting less overweight, you are getting more attractive, yada, 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 and it's still not there. she might just be like not as much into you as you think you are. Also, what I would do is don't rush the situation. Really don't rush the situation where it's like some of these girls would like want to have a baby within a month of knowing you, which is kind of a hard deal, like vetting for a dad within a month. I know tradcons love well, if you know, you know. It's like, yeah, but personalities.
I hate to say that's how you end up in bad relationships. Sometimes a girl will be like, so, she wants a baby now, and then she ends up with the wrong guy that, she'll later on say, oh yeah, he's bad to me. He mistreats me, but I've got his kid. And I go, well, you kind of rushed yourself into it, didn't you?
Yeah, you had unprotected sex, my friend. What do you think is going to happen?
But don't get me wrong. I mean, we've all been there where you're like lovey-dovey in love and you're kind of blind to it. And you say a lot of things where it's like, of course I would love your babies and things like that. And you kind of mean it at the time, but then your rational brain kicks out like costs, school, government. It's kind of like, yes, I'm in love with this woman, but...
Aaron Clary starts screaming in your brain.
Yeah.
The wall has different manifestations too. It's not only like the physical appearance. So if you think about it, as time goes on, men, we get our scars, we got our like traumatic things that happen through our life, and we get tougher. We simply like, man, that sucked. We thug it out, right? But women, as time goes on, and they make these decisions, the wall is not only financial, right? Because now, here's what happens: women start giving themselves a lifestyle, right? Based on credit cards. Women are not minimalist at all. There's very few women minimalists, right? So they will pay themselves or get men to pay stuff for them, and then when they find the guy that ticks all the boxes, imagine that guy being, hey, I want to start a family with you, but we have to cut back on the Gucci bags. We have to cut. We can't take 3 trips a year. We can only take 1. Or this year we're not taking a trip because we had a baby. Imagine telling a girl who, since she was 22, has gone on trips with her girlfriends and spoiled herself. She didn't have any savings or barely any, and then she gets to the end and she meets a guy, and that guy, tells her, "Hey,
no.
We can't do this because we have to invest in our future. We have to buy a house. We have to, and then what do? That's part of the wall. The wall is you are so used to a lifestyle, right? That when it's time to like live real life, like not based on credit cards and Instagram, like have a human being pushed out of you and raise that child and that you are no longer the center of the universe. That child is now, at least for the first 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't go anywhere because you have a child. That's part of the wall, is that you are no longer able to you become very self-centered and very consumerist and very materialistic. And then you have the health thing, right? Because if you're a single gal and you're out there having sex, which all women are, guys, turns out women like to enjoy sex, you have a higher chance of getting venereal diseases. And some of them aren't a big deal, right? In the grand scheme of things, right? But I'll tell you this much. For guys that care, imagine you telling a guy, hey, I have herpes, and to me and to people, to society, it's not a big deal sometimes. But let me ask you this: if I had it and I told you, would you be like, oh, that's okay, it's not a big deal? No, you would be like, hell no, that's gross, get away from me, right? And the sad thing about that is that's part of the wall we don't talk about. Like Michaela Peterson has herpes, right? She found a guy, right, because she's smart and she has a lot of like overhead direction from the guy upstairs telling her, hey, like you part of my brand. But like most women don't have that pressure to be that. So there's so many aspects of the wall that we don't talk about. And then time is not friendly to women, not only the physical aspect, but the health. And when you want to have kids, doctors say 2 years beforehand, you have to start eating right. That means stop drinking every weekend. That means stop eating trash food, like Lucky Charms.
It's especially the trash food. It's like, oh, by the way, you were talking finances. Guys, you know what a huge green flag in women is, especially in the States? A debit card.
I was going to say a good credit score.
Yeah, no, either a good credit score or a debit card. Now, us Europeans only use debit cards, but it's like a debit card for an American, that's like, yep, that's up there. But I do want to later on like read a little piece from Rolo's article about the wall, but you bring up a good point as well, Nuke, with like the health situation where a lot of women can still look great into their 40s, whatever, but just because of their health choices,
Trash.
they deteriorate.
Mm-hmm.
They
The
just
inside of their body is trash. Like it's this, you know, they have heart issues, cardio issues. They get surgeries that have complications with those surgeries. Right. I think the safest surgery is boobs, right? That's like the safest one right now.
No,
The
they're trying
cosmetic
to
one.
come down on that in the Netherlands, where it's like, no, it kills you, and I'm like, yeah, that's just a chestlet conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like there's just filthy B cups in office who don't want women to be hot, who tell you fake tits will kill you, which they probably won't. Not sure. I'm not a doctor, but I am a big-breasted connoisseur, so I might be a bit subjective here. So, but with all those health issues come like drug issues as well, and the side effects of those, which deteriorate the health even more, even though people say, no, like the drugs are meant to keep you healthy. And it's like, no, they are meant to keep you in a vicious circle, but that's me.
It keeps you paying the hospitals, and they keep
it keeps you paying the hospitals. They
Mm-hmm.
keep you on a track, in all honesty.
And it's unfair because like I've been busting my ass to be healthy. And, you know, obviously I have my cheat days and I eat crappy food sometimes, but, you know, I bust my ass and I cook my food and I give it a little thought. Meanwhile, you're partying every weekend, getting drunk, eating trash food, Uber Eats all the time. And, you know, you're 31 and now you want a baby. I'm like, listen, you didn't even give a shit until like you want a baby. You haven't even done anything beforehand to prepare. Like you haven't started eating healthy. Like sell it to me. Sell me being with you is worth it. Like it's like that's the final part of the wall, and that's the saddest one. Women stop selling themselves. They don't care about what men want. They start signaling these high standards, and that's like the physical appearance leaves, and then they go on Twitter, which is the end stage of the wall. Is going on Twitter to argue with men that fuck 24-year-olds. That's the final start to the wall.
That you're talking about Uber Eats too. Like goodness, I've seen girls posting about how they don't have any money and they just bought something off of Uber Eats. They buy their trash food, and Uber Eats is overpriced as heck. You can't go pick it up, so you pay $10 to have it delivered to you, and that stacks up too. So you're having a financial and a dietary crash there.
Oh man, I love Traddy's wife for this. Like one of my best friends, his wife used to be a vegetarian, and she got pregnant, and she found out that like when you're pregnant, you need to have like a good intake of iron and protein, and she right away just started eating meat again. Like like all those convictions were just like, look, I am now taking care of a tiny human, which needs protein and iron, which is in meat. Screw my convictions. I'm doing this for the kid. She never went back, and she still looks great even after 2 pregnancies. It's like, what the hell? Yeah, but that's also because she got a guy. I think the wall is amplified when you're single. Not gonna lie, I think that is the behavior is way more amplified when they're single at 28, because they could have had a guy who would have loved to take care of them. Be honest here, gentlemen. We love to take care of our women. We just do.
Oh, yeah. We
just do.
Even
against our better knowledge, we do.
That kind of goes back to me talking about the ones that were in their mid-20s that would crash by the time they were 30 and look 10 years older, because a lot of them spent their years partying and drugging and, you know, smoking, drinking, whatever else. And that doesn't help their mental or their physical state whatsoever.
It's mostly the smoking and the drinking, the combination of the two that does it. Yeah. It's like, what the hell? Like, I have a chain smoking friend and he still looks great, but he doesn't drink. So I was like, hey, wait a minute, what's up here? But apparently it's the smoking and the drinking when that gets people. Like one of the two guys, one of the two.
Yep.
Rob still looks good for AJs as well. Let's be honest here. But
oh, heck yeah.
Like, it's like cigars. It's not, you don't inhalate those as much as cigarettes.
See, and but also he's not so tense and everything that it probably will wear him out too. So he can still look good because he's a bit more chillaxed.
Yeah. And he's a guy, so he's not a 30-year-old woman.
Yep.
and it's just like you date women, and then by the time you get to that point where there's so many things you gotta unlearn, like teach them. Like it feels, dating women have never been so independent, but in relationships they have never been so clueless. Like I liken what the average relationship nowadays to Sully from Monsters Inc.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's just running around, clueless, doesn't know. Yeah, Boo. She doesn't know what's going on. She's just running around. Everything makes her laugh. She just wants to be entertained. Meanwhile, Sully's like worried, protecting her from everything and trying to get her to safety. That's what a relationship is today. You go in with the girl and you gotta be like, hey, you can't have Chick-fil-A every day. You know that, right? Like you need to eat healthy because you only get one body. That's all you have, right? Hey, you can't go to Miami with your girlfriends because people do stupid things when they're drunk, and if you cheat on me or if I find out, I have to leave you. Like it's not a choice. I have to leave you.
And your girlfriends are hoes.
Yeah. I can't. Like that's how that works. Yeah. This isn't a debate. We don't have to make 30 TikTok videos, 17 podcasts, and write a book about that. It's like I asked the girls on the podcast the other day, hey, do you agree that people do stupid things when they're drunk? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, so why the fuck would I let you go somewhere where I'm not there to protect you? If something happens to you, you don't have to go to your father's house and be like, yeah, I was in charge of taking care of your daughter and she's either dead or got drugged and hurt or something, or the wedding's off that you paid for or you helped pay for because I didn't, put my foot down or something like that. Right.
Yeah.
Wait, did you argue with women again?
No, they were like, yeah, you make sense. But the thing is, I'm really good at, me, I'm really good at delivering lines. I don't yell at them. I just explain to them. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. But I don't think they understood anyway. But
she doesn't know you.
She doesn't know. But that's what it feels like for a guy who's already have his fitness routine. For a guy that's financially, he's like sensible. For a guy that already has his own problems that he's handling. For a guy that, there's so many. You have to teach women about their own body, like their own vagina. Like
the tampon thing.
Well, so many things like, hey, can we have unprotected sex? And I'm just like, it's 2 weeks before you period, you idiot. Like, no, we can't have unprotected sex. You're the most fertile right now, you dummy. You're like,
that's why she asks.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're 27. How do you fucking not know how your body works in your cycle? You guys act like the feminine is the most best thing in the world, but you don't even know when you're most likely to get pregnant. Like,
let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. That's the problem of being the most wanted object in the world. Everybody's nice to you. It's like nobody tells you where it's at. It's like, and then we get to deal with it when we actually want some commitment. Where it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You especially love whenever it's 2 weeks before, and exactly what they're, they know how their body runs, but if they don't, they've got a phone app that'll tell them too. And they're always looking at it. So,
but that's none of my business.
No, but yeah.
No, but it's true. But go ahead, Nuke.
Just to finish my point, it's just like that's how I see relations. Whenever I have a girl, there's so many things I have to like tell her, right? And I think the hardest thing that I've had to explain to women is just like, hey, your single friends are lonely. They're mad that I'm taking you out, that I'm treating you good. They don't want us to be together, and that's why they're giving me shit. That's why they want you to go to Miami with them, even though you're in a happy, loving relationship. Like, it's really hard to explain that to women, but I don't know.
There is no greater enemy of women than other women.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There really is no greater enemy of women than other women. Like, no one hates a happy woman more than a miserable woman. You see it all the time.
And they'll give them all the bad advice in the world too, like Grima Wormtongue in Theoden's ear or something.
Oh, yeah. Cut your hair, queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can use a couple of extra pounds. You're already skinny anyway.
Cut your hair like Cersei. Come on.
Oh, fuck. You'd almost think that the wall is self-sabotage, that it's because of other women.
Yeah.
They run into it. They're but just guided to it by other women who stand there with like the airplane lights. Like, come here, drink more, smoke more. Yeah, you don't need to commit. Get your career.
Yeah, I would say for guys that like us, right, that like have our shit together, it's not that we don't want women to be these super career boss babes. What we want is competent women, right?
Yeah.
And when I met like a girl that, you know, doesn't, that you can function in your life and you don't constantly have to be babysitting her for everything, right? Like a girl that's like, hey, we're gonna cook tonight. I'm gonna start cooking. You get the ingredients. You bring the ingredients, and then she's calling you every 5 minutes. I can't find it. Where do I go now? I'm like, figure fucking out. You're an adult. Figure it out. You know. And what happens is every girl gets trained by the guy before them to be what they are now. So when a girl acts a certain way, it's because the guy before them let them act that way, right? So when you see women on Twitter disrespecting you, it's because the guy they're with or the guy they were with was being disrespected too and never called her out on it. So you have to deal with this problem. And what happens with guys like us, we don't want to deal with this problem. We're just like, I don't want to train you. Like, I'll have sex with you, but I gave you a chance. You suck. You don't add anything to my life. So back to the streets you go. And then they hit the wall and they're just like, why does no one like me? I'm so perfect, boss babe. Beyonce said this and all my friends. And just like,
bring the beat in.
Yeah. You're not ugly, Missy. You just suck. You just suck as a person. You don't know how to be a girlfriend. No one ever taught you how to be a girlfriend. And here you are. And now you're stuck. There's nothing we can do for you because I'm not going to train you.
But look, I'm going to be honest. The whole training thing, some guy, like if you bring value in certain areas of your life, a woman can get away with certain incompetence. But you better step up that game.
Yeah, you don't have to be perfect, but you know, you can't just be a complete child.
There's lenience, but by God, if you don't pick certain things up, like if your health is deteriorating, I still said it wrong, didn't I?
No, you got it right.
You said it right.
Oh,
perfect. Right. Third time's the charm.
Deteriorating, and you keep eating garbage food, and then you complain about your health. Look. Start eating better. It's that simple. I don't want to. Then it's a you problem. It's that goddamn simple. But it's also like, does she clean? If she does, look, great. Thank you. But I also need you to function. Like cleaning alone doesn't do it. Like, in all honesty, I'm not a big fan of the cooking and cleaning. In all honesty, I really don't need a girl to do that. It's nice if she cleans after herself. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I can cook my own goddamn steak. I can clean my own goddamn house. What I need her to do is take care of herself.
Yeah.
It's like,
Thank you.
Are you well fed? Are you looking after yourself in the gym? You don't have to be toned and ripped or whatever. I don't care about that. But do you exercise?
Just not fat. Yeah.
Just not be thin. Yeah. And what kind of content do you consume? Do you consume like garbage, nihilistic, abstract content, or do you look up things that bring joy to your life?
Yes, puppies. That's what I was going to say too. Yeah. Look, are you watching, some political nonsense that's going to warp your brain or something? Are you going to watch like, I don't know, some kind of food show or something? I don't care. Something that girls like otherwise, Yeah. Something that brings you happiness. Are you watching
Gordon Ramsay or who is Happy Gordon Ramsay?
Happy Gordon Ramsay?
What's his name? You know who I mean.
Is there
Jamie Oliver?
No, Gordon Ramsay with kids. When he's dealing with kids, he's happy.
Yeah. No, but Jamie Oliver. I mean Jamie Oliver. He's like happy Gordon Ramsay, Like, are you watching that? Or like Gov mentioned, critical political podcasts. It's like That's not joyful. That's not happy. That's It's not even nihilism. Like,
yeah, girls shouldn't consume red pill content either. They should not be watching red pill content. It's not good for them. They'll just get mad. But some women will be like, "Hey, yeah, he makes sense." But so, like, imagine a girl watching 5 hours of Rolo's stream. Like, I'd be kind of worried. I'd be like, "Baby, are you all right? Is everything okay?"
I can't imagine 5 hours of seething the whole time.
Yeah,
but like, let's be honest here, guys. Like, how much red pill content do you guys watch?
Outside of you guys, just for the support and things like that, not much anymore. I mean, I watch the guys that I like, that I genuinely like. I think we talked about this last week. We like to watch guys that we can relate to, or that we just enjoy the content of. But I watch them strictly because I like the person or their other content. The red pill stuff can be a supplement, I suppose, sometimes. But yeah, like Fit and Fitness. I mean, fresh and fit, whatever. I'm going to say it wrong on purpose. Don't really watch them, or what is it? Whatever podcast. I've not watched a single episode of that ever. Whatever the most popular stuff is, I don't touch that stuff. No way.
I only watch Ryan, not only for the support, but because it's actually actionable.
Yes, that's the other thing too. I actually look forward to a Saturday morning where he has a show before Rule Zero, because he always has a good episode. And yeah, I never get bored listening to him.
But other than that, I don't watch anything. I mostly watch Pokemon unboxing, Lego reviews, and character analysis of like shows I watch.
Same here. That's about it. Yeah, I was gonna say I watch sometimes reviews on video games or movies or something like that. But even then, it's like there's only so much of that content I can take, and some of those people I'm not, watching anymore after some comments they've made about our communities and stuff by misrepresenting them. But that's besides the point.
I loved Ryan's tweet where he was like, what was it again? You don't get it. When people like mischaracterize Red Pill and we start arguing with them, Ryan made the point, you still don't get it.
Yeah.
You be okay with being the asshole. They just need a villain. They know they are mischaracterizing it.
Yeah, I just realized that the other day.
And yeah, we're walking right into it. I was like, oh, guilty as charged.
I just have more fun responding sarcastically these days and not seriously anymore.
Oh, yeah,
you're not going to win anything debating them. Just be, sometimes you'll win them over with your sarcasm and humor instead. Be like, this dude's actually funny. Maybe I'll actually, listen to him a bit. But if they listen to, if you try to debate them, you try to be too serious about anything, or you're around people that are too serious and too, what's the word I'd be looking for here? Too red pilly for them, for their taste. Then they're going to be like, I don't want to have anything to do with this guy.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm starting to realize that people fucking know what the red pill is. They know what we stand for, or what they understand, that this is not like a group of people. They understand that this is like, there's just us describing concepts that improve our lives. Right. And they don't want, they need a villain. And the villain is, there's no villain right now until, I don't know why it's taking so long, but the election cycle started. Where's the villain? Where's the... So this is what happened. I think we didn't predict this election cycle correctly. Everyone thought that as soon as the election cycle kicked up, right, which it started with Donald Trump's mug shot, right? Yeah. That, okay, election cycles kicked off. Everyone's going to forget about intersexual dynamics and red pill and move on to that. But this is what happened. They moved on from the red pill. They said, I'm leaving the red pill, or red pill's evil. And that's where they stayed. Their personality is red pill sucks. And they haven't gone to step 3, which is politics. They're still here. We're just like, get out. Go out of
away.
Here.
Yeah.
And go away. Yeah.
In all honesty, I think red pill has become politics.
Yes, or so they think. So
they have, like, red pill has now officially become in the societal narrative a part of politics, where it's like, oh, are you a conservative red pillar? Are you one of those red pillars? Where it's like, of course the libtards are not going to associate with us.
Well, I was going to say too, to a degree, I mean, having studied politics for 20 years now, I know that to a degree, everything is political to a degree. Like it seems like you can just find politics in anything. I mean, I could say, I could hold this up and say, is this made of environmentally friendly material or something like that? You know, I mean, you could literally come up with political things on anything, and now, you know, they've just decided to target red pill on it and make it as political as they can. And they're trying to equate them. What's funny is you got, just like the episode on Rule Zero yesterday, you got the trad cons trying to equate red pill people with more leftist people instead. Like, because they say, oh yeah, you don't want to be married or have kids or anything like that. You're anti. It's like, no, again, you're not understanding the material. And that's who's Rollo wanting to interview next. Knowles was his last name or whatever.
Michael Knowles.
Oh,
yeah.
Michael Knowles.
Michael
Yeah,
Knowles.
that's why I left a comment on one of his posts. I was like, dude, please read and understand the material before you even jump into this, because otherwise it's going to be Lauren Southern 2.0, where Lauren was talking to Rollo and letting Rollo talk, but she had, you know, I mean, she made him look a lot worse than he actually was in that.
She or he?
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Love you, buddy. Real quick, Juando on a €2 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Nihilistic content. Jack, leave Cappy out of this. Look, hey, I'm not even bringing him in here. Speaking of our Lord and Savior, Godfather amongst men, I do want to.
We have Thor in the chat too.
Yeah.
We have RP Thor if you want to bring him up.
Let's see. Good to see you, sir, as well. JBB here as well. X-Runner 55. We saw Gico too.
It's
Binary
bad.
thinking is on the left. Right greatest weapon. Edward Bernal's 101. Oh, I need to read that. Daniel Bell here as well. Silver Fox. Thank you very much, sir. Let's see. I want to bring up Rollo's chat. There we go. Rollo's post of, well, of course, the wall. Because how can we define anything here with him not being mentioned? Oh, I brought it up in the chat. There we go. Share screen.
Dun, 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 dun.
Small little definition of the wall. When I wrote Navigating the S&P, the reason I used 30 as a general age women typically hit the wall is really a combination of factors. Most importantly, it represents the threshold at which most women realize, so mental, their lessened capacity to sexually compete with the next generation of women in their actualized sexual peak, 22 to 24. However, there's a middle part of the wall equation that needs to be understood. 30 is also the general age at which men should become aware of their own longer-lasting sexual market value and potential. This affects women's interpretation of the wall. Once a man is aware that he has the capacity to attract the sexual attentions of the younger women he previously had limited access and understanding of, his actions and imperatives define the wall for women who are approaching that threshold. And unsurprisingly, this is the point at which wall-fearing women begin their accusations of men's infantile ego issues, shaming, etc., for preferring younger women than themselves. So, all in all, it is one giant shaming tactic, or mostly mental. It's becoming a mindset of shit. It's not even like a literal being aware of what's happening. It's a lashing out. Like, wait a minute, where's my attention? Why are guys giving their attention to all these women while I'm here? Well, that's because when a man gets older and he gets his shit together, those women find him attractive too. And he kind of gets the pick of the litter. And since you never chose, you're kind of being left out. And that's the whole mental aspect of women you see on Twitter. And Mish, his brilliant tweet of "You will never meet a properly fucked woman on Twitter," where most women who lash out on Twitter, you see, are either single or they're in an unhappy marriage, shaming men for behavior that is nothing more than completely natural. Which is like, if they've made something of themselves, pursue their sexual strategy. But even the women, like, I've heard that even Rad Femme, what was her name again? Rad Femme Hitler or something?
Rad Femme underfucked. Yeah. Rad Femme underfucked. Yeah.
Like, even her on Twitter, apparently she's a good-looking woman. Yet here she is on Twitter bashing all kinds of men and whatever. It's like, where's your husband? Where's your boyfriend? Why has nobody picked you up? Well, it's not because of her appearance, apparently.
Personality.
But it's
personality.
I'm horrible personality of her. Being judgmental, not being pleasant, being condescending. In my humble opinion, the wall, the phrase, even though there are some good examples of women who physically hit the wall, because there are plenty of that. It's like, guys, look up people you went to high school with. Just look them up. 9 times out of 10, it gets bad. But a majority of the time, it truly is it's the mental aspect. That's why with dating apps, don't put it above 28. Don't put it above 29, maybe. Because that's where
I did the other day, dude, and I fucking regret it.
Oh, how bad was it?
Fucking regret it, dude. Dude, and right now I'm still in shock. I think yesterday, the day before yesterday, in the morning, I was messaging this girl who's 31. She was one of these I'm better than men, blah blah. And I ran my normal lines, and there was a lot of pushback, and I was about to give up, but I was amused. I'm like, so and then she said, "Hey, I'd go out with you, but I have a boyfriend application." And I thought she was being flirty, like a boyfriend application, right? On Hinge, like she's like, "I have a boyfriend application before you take me out." And I was like, "Okay, so let's hear it," because I thought she was either being flirty, and also I was interested in like boyfriend application. It was a 30-point questionnaire about am I eligible to take you out, and she was serious. 31 years old, and I'm like, are you like? All of a sudden, do you think she had this when she was 22? No.
Would be fun though.
Yeah. Here's my dating resume.
Yeah, and
imagine
that's the
if
thing.
girls met that.
I'll tell you something, guys. For the guys who see their behavior on Twitter, online, whatever, right? One of the biggest last hurrahs of women that are hitting their wall is that what they do is that like they create a post or something that forces that like tries to put you in their frame to try to qualify to them. They'll be like the article said, oh, they'll shame you or they'll make you feel like you're not qualified to date them. Like you'll have older women like, oh, real men don't fuck around and don't have multiple women. I'm just like, I'm not qualified to hear. Like, I think I said this on my last stream, or no, I said it on a stream with you, Jack, where it's like, imagine telling a guy who's getting laid, has a rotation or a nice girlfriend or whatever he has, he's happy, a older woman saying, you're wrong for doing that. It's like, I win. How can you tell me I lost when I literally have a you win screen across my life all the time? Like, have you guys played Yu-Gi-Oh! And you win a duel on any game and you win? It's like a gigantic, you win. You reduced their life points to 0. That's what you did to this girl. And she's still trying to say, but you didn't win the way I wanted. Instead of using Blue Eyes White Dragon, you should have used Win Karibo or whatever. You should have done this. And you're like, it doesn't matter. You should have
used Exodia.
You won with Final Countdown.
Oh my god, that is a shitting way of winning.
You waited.
Yeah.
That is a horrible way to win, though.
Oh, it was
real quick.
There we go.
Oh, no, go ahead, Nuke first. Finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's like, guys, don't fall for this trap where women try to make you mad by trying to make you feel like you're not good enough for them. Understand that, like I said in my superficial pre-selection video, women don't know the difference between 6 inches and 8 inches. Women don't know the difference between $80,000 and $120,000. Women don't know the difference between 6 feet and 5'8", almost 5'9". They barely know the difference for that. So when these girls start yapping, I want a girl, I want a guy, this, I'm like, dude, she's going home with the loser that night with someone that meets none of those requirements. And she's going to come 3 times. She's going to call that guy back. She's going to be like, what the fuck? You're not calling me. And that is the precursor to the wall. And that's why when they hit the wall, they go back to that and be like, no, I actually want this. It never shows up. And now they're bitter and they go on Twitter and they're like, real men do this while you're getting everything you need and want in life through hard work. Are you really going to like take them seriously. Come on now. Come on.
No.
You win.
No, but I mean, why doesn't he call you back? That's also a thing. Like, I slept with him. Yeah, but were you pleasant later on? Were you pleasant beforehand? Or were you just hot?
Yeah.
It's like, call him. This whole notion of, he didn't call me back. Did you call him? Oh, but I shouldn't have to. Well, maybe he's busy. Maybe he met a girl who was pleasant.
The ego.
That whole ego thing. It's like, God. And you'd be surprised how many women actually don't text you back.
And imagine arguing with a guy like me on Twitter, where I've been rejected by so many women in my life. I've worked so hard. I was a firefighter, I was a nuclear operator. I did all these things in my life. I learned 2 languages. I grew up in a religious cult, and I had to break free. All this crazy shit. And now you think I'm offended? While I have a rotation of women, and I have friends online, friends in real life. I have a great puppy, and women treat me amazing. Women in my life treat me great. And you think that you telling me that I suck because I am not living the way you want me to, I'm not qualifying to your standards? You really think that's going to do anything? I'm just getting paid, baby. Keep coming at me, ladies. I'm just getting paid. Thank you.
But that's the thing. They want you to prove. They want you to submit to them. It's like It's like arguing on anything. It's like Ryan said. Stop arguing with them. They know they misinterpreted. They just want you to validate them, and that's why like arguments in general are absolute garbage. Like unless you truly have a perspective that can have that leaves a room open for improvement or growth, whatever, then maybe you don't even want to argue, but you want to be informed, where it's like, hey man, I view this from this perspective, but I noticed that you view it from that perspective. What am I missing? Now that becomes an informative conversation. But the whole debate, it's where it's like, I think I'm right and you think, and I think you're wrong. It's like, why? If you are right, why would you even want to persuade the other person if you're right? Because apparently it worked for you. So why do you need to defend it? It already worked for you. Why care? Well, he says you're wrong. Well, clearly you're not, because it worked for you. Like, okay, then I'm wrong. I'm gonna enjoy my rotation. Yeah. I'm gonna enjoy my life. It's like, what?
Yeah, I told a guy that was it, like, just, you know, that one weirdo that was arguing like all day with, and I just let my followers, like, you guys argue, and then I just put in one of my posts, hey dude, you win. You're right. Okay, yeah. You win. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my life. You win. Like, you are living in a other country. You have a fucking wife and kids, but you're arguing on Twitter with a guy 1,000 miles away from you. And I literally said, hey, you know what? You win. I'm wrong. You win. And he still went on for the rest of the day with my other followers. I'm just like, can't help these people. Now,
if I didn't know Sergio lived in Texas, I would have thought it was him.
It was a guy from another country. I don't know how to remember.
I mean, if we're in Texas, everybody's 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, pretty
true. Much.
But real quick, Dark Knight Dev for the $5 heartfelt. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Guys always crap on post-wall women, but here's one thing they won't tell you. Once a woman hits her 30s, her sex drive goes up and peaks in her 40s. I have heard about that. I don't know about that.
Well, do you know there? Okay, I have a theory. I have several theories. If you guys want to give a shot at it.
Yeah, go ahead.
At this, Governor, you want to give a shot at it?
Shoot, I mean, on my experience, it depends on how much the desire is from the woman to you, really. I mean, if she desires you that much, it doesn't matter whether 20s, 30s, or whatever. Because, I mean, I've had them in their 30s or more so sometimes than those in their 20s. So, I mean, I've had them want it more so. And then, you know, it's really, I don't know. For me, it's been very balanced out of the experiences I've had.
I just say, like, time's running out, so they have to fuck good to get that baby.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know, they have to. Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't know. I always figured sex drive is connected to, like, what Gov said, desire. Like, how much is she into you? How enthusiastic is she about you?
Yeah.
It's like, I've dated them from 19 to like 28, whatever. And the one thing I did notice is that most of it No, that's a lie, by the way. 19 to 2 who were 32. So 19 to 32.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the biggest indicator of like sex drive is enthusiasm about you. It wasn't age, it was how much is she into you? Like, how much in love is she in with you? Is she invested in you? Things like that. Does she want to keep you happy? Does she want to meet your needs? But that had nothing to do with age. Like, I've heard about this whole thing where it's like, oh, women's sex drive peak in their 30s. It's like, based on what? I'm not being condescending, Dark Knight Dev. I really appreciate the super chat and the conversation we're having now. You're adding to it. I don't know about it. I really don't. Nuke, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah, like I said, it could be interpreted as women when they're in their 30s, they're trying to squeeze out those last couple babies they can before they're they can't have any more kids. And then like Thor is saying that hormonal fluctuations, there's that too. That has to say. A lot of women come off birth control around early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So they start they start seeing alphas everywhere, and they're like, "Fuck, all these alphas," and they start like,
Speak of a red pill. Go read your brain on birth control. Just do it.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
And then women who all of a sudden have to compete with younger women. Two things happen, right? They start getting really fit around 28, 29, because they're trying to compete. So they all of a sudden, and it's part of the get right with God. Like when women hit the wall, they want to start hitting the wall. They want to get right with God. So a lot of them start adopting traditional values. They make traditional Twitter accounts. Even the single moms, and then so what happens when you're fit? Your sex drive goes up. You want to fuck more because you can fuck more because sex is more enjoyable when you're fit. Plus, your body's healthier, better hormonal levels when you're fit. You're running, you're getting sunlight, right? So that happens. And then also a lot of women start getting plastic surgery around this age. So they get more eyes on them because, their titties are bigger, their butt's bigger, their stomach's flatter. They don't have the double chin. They have the lips and the cheek and the injections. So they get looked on by more men. So more men hit them up, and eventually they start fucking more, right? So all these things wrapped up into one is it could be perceived as a woman in her early 30s and 40s having this higher sex drive, right? So yeah.
So it's more correlation than causation, is what you would say.
Yeah, it's correlation. It's like a lot of things are compared. 30 is a big fucking deal for women. For us guys, like the article said, I always thought 30 was super old. I'm like, man, when I get to 30, and then when I got to 30, it was like, you guys remember when Piccolo absorbed Nail and he got that power? And he's just like, what the fuck? Like,
I can win. I can do this. I feel great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Piccolo didn't know he could. He was like, Frieza's gonna whoop my ass. There's no way. And then he absorbs Nail, and he's like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm 30 years old now. Like, I feel calm. Like, I no longer am bothered by so many things. I already proved myself at work. Like, I'm hireable now. My job's been promoting me. I'm like, I've gotten better at sex. I kind of don't get riled up about that. I don't care about things outside of my control as much. And I have money now. I can go buy nicer clothes. I can get a better apartment. And guys start realizing, oh shit. Exactly. You can buy Dragon. Yeah, exactly. You have money now. You can buy nice things like pianos. You can get a nice dog. You can live in a nice area. You get better jobs, better friends, because as you level up in life, you start getting surrounded by better people, right?
Yeah.
And then people kind of respect you more. Like at work, people are like, oh, Nuke said this. I think we should go, but I think we should follow his recommendation. Or, governor said we should do this. I think that's a good recommendation. When you're 22, no one gives a shit what you think as a guy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So the wall for men is 18 years old, right? Because everyone loves you. In high school, you're great. Your parents love you. You hit 18. All right, dude, you either got to go to college. You either got to go to the military. We don't give a fuck. Get out of our house. Get out of here. Women may want to have sex with you or not. We don't care. It's on you. Figure it out. And then we have to overcome that wall. And then when we hit 30, we're like, oh, that was the wall behind us. Okay, we made it.
Oh,
it's up to them to
go
avoid the wall and up to us to overcome it. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Oh, can I be honest? I hate it when anybody brings up the male wall. There is no male wall because the whole concept of the wall is a female concept. Now, okay, in all honesty, the concept of the wall is older than the red pill because it was meant for athletes. Athletes usually retire by 30 something, 9 times out of 10, because they just can't bring it up anymore to compete with the other athletes that are younger. So in an athlete sense, the wall is around 30, and that could apply to men and blah, blah, blah. But in general, men do not have a wall. We do not get to that point of, oh, women find younger men than I attractive. No. For men, it's like, oh, women find men who are more successful attractive. Well, I can do that. I can become more successful. The whole concept of the wall is irrelevant to men. There is no male wall. Not in the same sense. Like, it's always that people will try the goose and the gander thing, where it's like, look, we're equal. We are not. And that's okay. But for men, it's be in shape, things like that. What makes us attractive doesn't make a woman attractive. It's that simple. The whole concept doesn't apply to us.
Yeah, well, there's this thing in arguing, like the red pill debate, which is an oxymoron. Red pill and debate, that's an oxymoron. There's nothing to debate. If if I'm running a rotation of women and I'm getting ahead in life and I'm happy, what the fuck do I have to debate with a blue-haired person? What the fuck do I have to debate with you, bro? Tell me how you can make my life better. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, the thing is with the wall is that in arguing this stuff, right, is that women say, well, everyone thinks in parallels. If there's a female version of this, there must be a male version. If there's a female wall, there must be a male wall. I'm like, no, because even if I'm overweight, I could still lose the weight in like 6 months. I'll be a transformed person if I put in the work. Oh, well, what about being broke? And I'm like, I can go live in a box and gain $10,000 and get a good job and work it'll take like 1 or 2 years, but I'll be back. I'll be back. You know. What about being bald? I'm like, there's plenty of bald, attractive men. You know,
that's the big one. A lot of people bring that up. Like, men hit the wall when they go bald. First of all, bald is a look. You can work with being bald.
They do that all the time. People I see throw insults at Paul of Come On Man podcast on like Twitter and TikTok, especially. They just say, "You're bald." And I just love his reactions too. Just, yeah, I am.
Nothing wrong with your eyesight.
Yeah.
It's like, it's that easy. It's like, like men can be unattractive. Yeah, but it doesn't mean they hit the wall. They don't become their mentality doesn't change for the worst at a certain point in life if they're single.
Right.
That just doesn't occur to us.
Yeah, we need to stop with these parallel arguments because that's like a mid-wit 70 IQ bullshit thing. Like, oh, if like for example, people like to equate beauty with wealth for men. I'm like, no, there's no equivalent to beauty. Nothing.
They always try to. They need to have some kind of egalitarian argument.
Exactly.
They try to say if they go through something, then so do they. You know. Oh, men too, as Rollo calls it. Ooh, men too.
Yeah, it's like this. I was born with this. If you do not have this, you are now fucked.
Yep.
You will never be as pretty as I am.
Yeah. And the craziest thing is, like, you need to be like the top 1,000 men on Earth to get the same amount of female attention or attention from the opposite sex that a normal, regular girl that goes to, Dallas University here at 22 years old, right? So guys, stop with this like parallel thing. There is no parallels to beauty and there's no parallels to the female wall. Beauty in the wall is its own thing. It has nothing to do with us. Exclusive. It's not your problem. You don't know what it's like. We can give you a window or a glimpse, right? And once you start dating women, you're going to realize that beauty brings a lot of fucking problems to a woman's life. And unless there's a smart guy that's harnessing it, beauty will bring a lot of problems, right? You think the OnlyFans girls making a lot of money? You think it's all them, that they're doing all the marketing, that they're doing all the things themselves? No, they give 30% of their money to a guy, right? And so a guy's getting paid and they're showing pictures of themselves on the internet. If that's your thing, that's okay, right? And I've heard stories and of women who have millions or thousands of simps and followers paying money for this stuff, and their boyfriends are just like, I will fuck when we fuck. I don't, I'm not, like, imagine that. Imagine that, guys. So stop with this parallel shit. You don't want women's problems. You don't want them. Male problems are okay. There's people, men, we have a solve to our problems. You're fat, get in shape. You money. There's people that like Thor has a course on how to be a power lineman, and he delineates everything on how to be a power lineman. You can be earning 6 figures in like 2 years, right? As a young man, right? Women don't have like what are women telling other women? Dump that guy. You know that guy that treats you, that fucks you right? That I had a girl who she was Vietnamese. She would cook for me, clean. She would ask, "Hey, can I cook and clean for you?" She would get dressed. She would always want to hang out with me. And her friend said, "Hey, dump that guy. He doesn't let you do whatever you want." And she eventually ghosted me, right? And it's just like, what? How do you teach a girl? Hey, don't listen to your friend. There's nothing. Their friends are literally telling them, get fucked, fuck your life, nuke it at every chance you have. Meanwhile, guys are like, hey, bro, get in shape. What other girl is telling another girl get in shape? Tell me. Have you seen it, Barry? Nope.
You go, queen. Take that extra cupcake.
And then you get exactly. And then you go. You're sitting in front of a girl on a date. She catfished you. She has a double chin. Whatever you say, right? And then you're just like, you're 28. There's so much information. You have the Library of Alexandria in your pocket, and no one said, "Hey, baby, you need to start going on walks. You need to, stop with the Starbucks mocha unicorn frappuccino every morning.
That's sugar, yeah."
And you guys are jealous of that. You guys are jealous that no one checks you. Imagine if no one ever told you, "Hey, hey, asshole, you're doing this wrong."
But even do you think? How do I phrase this? Do you think it would be fun that one day you wake up, all you had was beauty, and all of a sudden the market is flooded with other beauty? You are hitting a certain age. You're still beautiful, but you're not as beautiful, and your whole Instagram and whatever is just tanking because it's being flooded by other girls who are now younger, hotter, tighter than you, and your whole existence is flooded away. The job you were hired for your looks is hiring somebody else because you just don't cut it anymore.
God, that's so savage that you put it that way.
Yeah.
Jesus, Jack.
Would you want? Yeah, it's cold, but I do feel pity for him. I do.
Yeah, nothing but pity.
And then they lash out at the world. It's like, look, I didn't make the world. I didn't make men visual. But the only thing you can, or the last thing you want to do now, dear, is lash out. Because you still have good looks. Now let a personality match it, and you're golden. But no, instead of that, you decide to lash out at the world for not being fair, not treating you right. You have been treated right. But now somebody else gets to be treated right as well. And you didn't bank on it because you thought it would last forever. Now, again, women can have their cake and eat it too, and I am perfectly fine with that. I am perfectly fine with that. I'm not going to go Michael's story here because Michael was a goddamn moron. But if you're going to be on Twitter as a woman arguing with other men for living their lives, what man would want you? You're making it worse on yourself. Now, women aren't going to listen to me because they don't know me. So who am I to
men they're fucking, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly. Maybe even now. But
guys, and the saddest part, the two saddest parts of that what you said, Jack, is that here's the saddest. This is so depressing. They will be on a date with you, and they'll be like, and then they'll go fuck the guy that doesn't give a shit about them, right? Because maybe maybe he'll change, and then they'll see that guy who they were on a date with in a relationship 6 months later with a younger girl, or he's happy, and then she'll slide in that guy's DMs and be like, "She's really cute. I'm really happy for you." even though you've gone on one date with her. She doesn't know you.
No.
How do you feel about that? That a woman who barely knows you is projecting her loneliness on you when you finally happy. And that, my friend,
I've had
is the
an
wall.
ex hit me up once. It kind of pissed me off. Where like we dated for a couple of months and she disappeared and shit like that. And after her, like I got into a stable relationship. And all of a sudden she texts me, "You look so happy." I'm like, "What do you want?"
I love those. I've had
my
that happen.
First response. Go ahead.
One of my favorite things I've had that happen more times than I can count, where you'll have that ex that surprisingly just comes back, and then they say, sometimes my favorite thing to hear is, "Why did I ever leave you?" Or "You were so good. What have I?" And you know that something's going wrong in her life, and she's just trying to get back into something that she was supposedly happy with in the first place. But all she has to say is, what have I ever, or what does she say? You were so good to me. Why did I ever leave you? And you go, "Well, I don't know why." And then you just keep going on because you're already at a happier point in life, and she senses that you're happy without her, and so she wants a piece of that.
What did Ryan used to say? She doesn't want you. She just wants to know she could get you.
Yes, exactly.
And that's all that is.
Exactly what I was getting at.
Continue on like the Instagram thing. Like, guys, do you really think you'd want that to wake up one day and to keep making selfies? And no matter what selfie you post, it just doesn't get the same likes you used to get?
No.
And the guy you curved 3 years ago, if you and the guy that curved you 3 years ago is just got engaged, and you're just like,
It's like, guys, the only thing you can do is pity, just pity. And if you find a girl, treat her right, but make very clear to her as well, like, hey, if you don't get your shit together on your own, this isn't working. I'm not your dad, not your babysitter.
Yeah,
unless in the bedroom.
Exactly. It's like, that is daddy, sir. That is not father.
Yes, father.
Yes, padre.
I was gonna say that sounds like some like really bad like Catholic church thing.
I've commenced in sin.
Yeah.
Repel me.
Repent.
When Nuke's out. Nuke dropped off. Repent, vile sinner.
Yep.
Repent. What have you come to confess?
Okay, sorry. Oh man, and once per stream we have to laugh, and I almost have to cry laughing. I think it was Panda that almost that like ruined me last time. That ruined the show. Yeah.
There's only one joke that gets Nuke. Repent, vile sinner. What if thou could confess?
That's how Matt Walsh has sex with his wife.
I was about to say that thing.
If he even if he even has sex with his wife, like, can you imagine him spitting in her mouth? Like, oh no, that's against God's will. It's not very biblical.
Then can you imagine finding out his kids aren't even his?
Ooh, missionary position for the sole purpose of procreation.
Missionary indeed, yes.
Like, you guys remember that old 4chan meme of the guys with the guy with the M&Ms? So there was this autist. Nuke, I don't know if you know the story. And guys in the chat, whatever, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you for being here. We had almost 40 live viewers today. I'm very proud of that. But here's to end this one off. Speaking of like peak physical condition, in the 4chan days, there was this autist who had a whole bag of M&Ms. What he did is he would grab 2 M&Ms and he would crush them together, and the one that wasn't crushed, he would use for the next crushing. And so on and so forth, until he had 2 left that both endured the crushing. He sent those 2 to the M&M's factory in a letter saying, use these for the sole purpose of procreation.
Oh my gosh.
I love the 4chan days.
Guys, I love the internet. The internet is undefeated.
That's it from us. Nuke, post your shit.
There was the days the internet was used for human ingenuity, and now it's used for simps. Like, I really miss the old days.
Me too.
Where people would do these great feats of science. Now they just pay for buttholes. But anyway, hey guys, you can find me on twitter.com/CalleoNuclear. I put my link tree in the chat. I think I'm gonna start doing videos Tuesdays and Thursdays from now on. And then Pöst Zerö on Sundays, Dragon Ship on Saturdays, guys. Dragon Ship is at 12:30 p.m. on Saturdays. This show, guys, you already know, 10 a.m. And then around 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll have shows. So thank you, guys.
Nice. Gov?
Oh, yeah, you can find me, well, as it says there on Twitter. There's my link there. And then Governor Megatron on YouTube, all one word. And I keep saying I'm going to have new content soon, and I will. I've been busy, but as soon as I'm not busy, it's going to be happening. I've got it all still in the plans, in the books.
Nice. So for me, if you are a man and you have trouble getting where you want in fitness, help me help you and get on the personal accountability program, personalized training program, diet plan, private Discord, weekly checkups, and a monthly consultation. The next consultation is next Saturday, so get on that while you can. Also, I am doing narrations. Here's 50 Shades of Game by Troy Francis, all 3 books narrated into one bundle. Also, Approach Your Like Chat and Text Game Mastery in one bundle. And Carl from Black Label Logic left me the audiobooks for Gendernomics, and you can find those here.
Nice.
If you want to support the channel, you can click the join button, become a member, get my version of the Book a Book audiobook for free, get some private emoticons for in the chat, and we're going to do membership streams. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below your thoughts of the show, and you will see us again next week. Cheers. Oh, and thanks everybody for the super chats. Juan Doe for the 2 super chats, and Dark Knight Dev for the $5. Cheers.